everybody, and welcome to Higher Ground. My name is Chris Hardwick. So glad you could join us, broadcasting from our cleft in the rock in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of western North Carolina. So glad to have you aboard. Now, it's Thursday already, and we're talking about the Passover today. And, of course, the Passover would be the night in which Jesus was betrayed and, of course, crucified on Friday, or as we know it as Good Friday. So we're going to read from Matthew 26 in this account, and we're going to start at verse 20, and I'm just going to read this because it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't believe I'm going to stop too much because got a lot to cover here on this morning's program. And so let's get started. Verse 20. Now when evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with his 12 disciples. As they were eating, he said, "Truly, I say to you that one of you will betray me." Being deeply grieved, they each one began to say to him, "Surely not I, Lord." And he answered, "He who dipped his hand with me in the bowl is the one that will betray me. The Son of Man is to go. Just as it was written of him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better, or it would have been good for that man not to even been born." And Judas, who was betraying him, said, "Surely it is not I, Rabbi." Jesus said to him, "You've said it yourself." Now, I will stop and comment that isn't it interesting that Judas had already gotten paid the 30 pieces of silver, and he said, "Surely it's not I, Rabbi," asking him the question. Boy, that you talk about getting right into the face of Jesus in somewhat like a mockery. "You said it yourself," Jesus said. And while they were eating, Jesus took some bread, and after a blessing, he broke it and gave it to his disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." And when he had taken the cup, he gave thanks, and he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant which is poured out for many for forgiveness of sins. But I say to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until the day when I drink it with you in my Father's kingdom." After singing a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. And then Jesus said to them, "You will all fall away because of me this night. For it is written, I will strike down the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But while I have been raised, I will go ahead of you. But after I have been raised, I will go ahead of you to Galilee." But Peter said to him, "Even though all may fall away because of you, I will never fall away." And Jesus said to him, "Truly I say to you that this very night, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, "Even if I have to die with you, I will not deny you." All the disciples said the same thing too. And then Jesus came to them to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be grieved and distressed. And then he said to them, "My soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. Remain here and keep watch with me." And he went a little beyond them and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "My Father, if it is possible for this cup to pass away from me, yet not as I will, but as you will." And he came to his disciples and found them sleeping, and said to Peter, "So you men could not keep watch with me 1 hour? Keep watching and praying that you may not enter into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And he went away again a second time and prayed, saying, "My Father, if this cannot pass away unless I drink it, your will be done." And again he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. And he left them again and went away and prayed a third time, saying the same thing once more. And then he came to the disciples and said to them, "Are you sleeping and resting? Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. Behold, the one who betrays me is at hand. Now, as we get into this, now we're going to see that it was definitely Judas, and we're going to lead right into the circumstances of the betrayal and what happens on this night, on this Thursday. And while he was speaking, verse 47, behold, Judas, one of the 12, came up, accompanied by a large crowd with swords and clubs, who came from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now he who was betraying him gave him a sign, saying, whoever I kiss, this is the one, seize him. Immediately Judas went to Jesus and said, Hail, Rabbi, and kissed him. And Jesus said to them, Friend, do what you have come for. And then they came and laid hands on Jesus and seized him. And behold, one of those who were with Jesus reached and drew out his sword and struck the slave of the high priest and cut off his ear. Then Jesus said to him, Put your sword back into its place. For those who have taken up the sword shall perish by the sword. Or do you think that I cannot appeal to my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? Now then will the scriptures be fulfilled which say it must happen this way? At that time Jesus said to the crowds, Have you come out with swords and clubs to arrest me, as you would against a robber? Every day I used to sit in the temple teaching you, and you did not seize me. But all this has taken place to fulfill the scriptures of the prophets. And then all the disciples left him and fled. Those who had seized Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and elders were gathered together. But Peter was following him at a distance as far as the courtyard of the high priest, and entered in and sat down with the officers to see the outcome. Now the chief priest and the whole council kept trying to obtain a false testimony against Jesus, so that they might put him to death. They did not find any, even though many false witnesses came forward, but later on two came forward, and he said, This man stated, I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days. The high priest stood up and said to him, Do you not answer? What is it that these men are testifying against you? But Jesus kept silent, as the high priest said to him, I adjure you by the living God, that you tell us whether you are the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said to them, You have said it yourself. Nevertheless, I tell you, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his robes and said, He has blasphemed. What further need do we have of witnesses? Behold, we have now heard the blasphemy. What do you think? They answered, He deserves death. Then they spat in his face and beat him with their fists, and others slapped him and said, Prophesy to us, you Christ, who is the one that hit you. Now Peter was out sitting in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him and said, You too were with Jesus the Galilean. But he denied it before all them, saying, I do not know what you're talking about. Then he had gone out to the gateway. Another servant girl saw him and said to those that were there, This man was with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied it with an oath. I do not know the man. And a little later bystanders came up and said to Peter, Surely you are the one of them, and even the way you talk gives you away. Then he began to curse and swear, I do not know this man. And immediately a rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the word which Jesus had said, Before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. And he went away and wept bitterly. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there, and we'll pick it up on Good Friday, the rest of the story, on this Passion of Christ this week, this Holy Week. And this was what happened on the night that he was betrayed by Judas. And now, they tried to conspire witnesses against him. And then, then they decided, okay, he's guilty. And then, of course, Peter said, I'll never deny you. And Jesus said to him, you will have denied me 3 times before the rooster crows. And on the 3rd time here, of course, Peter denied him. And the rooster crowed, and he fell under that conviction. And he went away and he wept bitterly. Well, we've got to go. We'll pick this up tomorrow on Good Friday. God bless you. You go out and make it a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.